Francine Fleur, a Haitian Canadian living here in Toronto, went to his local Scotia bank in Scarborough Town Centre, walks into the bank to make a deposit of about $9,000, written on a check by Remax. The teller, in broad daylight, gets suspicious. She delays him, then someone moves him into a separate room, the front rooms. Manager comes, and before long, the police are on site. They handcuff him, and they take him to the station to charge him on the belief that he has a fraudulent check. It turns out the check was legitimate, so he made actually extra money from selling his house, and the check that he was depositing was from the realtor from the sale. Turns out it was all legitimate. He had been a customer at Scotiabank for 10 years. Scotiabank issues an apology and that they will waive his fees for a couple of years. You humiliated someone in broad daylight from doing what I think is a pretty mundane task, right? Depositing a check, pretty boring. You made them feel humiliated, like they were less than a customer because you didn't trust them. You hear anecdotal stories like Francine Fleur, you start to understand why people would turn to alternative banks. That I'm using the official academic term ROSCA, Rotating Savings and Credit Associations, but when you speak to regular folk out there, it's known by various names. So initially, ROSCAs in Canada might be just a Jamaican patna, or a Somali hagbad, right, or an Egyptian al-gamiya. But what happens is when people live in communities, guess what? They start to like each other based on their personalities. So what you find out is that the Somali will be like, I'm not going to the Somali Hagbad group. I don't like the person that manages it. I'm going to that Trinidadian lady who has a Susu bank. She's really strict.
Well, through the eyes of a child, Susu is this awesome, powerful thing that allows things to become possible that you thought were not possible. We had a first floor apartment and we were playing outside, and one of the neighbors stuck their head out the window and shooed us away. And my grandmother made a connection to that. In Trinidad, you shoo dogs and cats and animals away, but not people. You don't talk to people like that. So she was quite insulted and upset. And when my mom came home from work, they had a conversation about it and resolved that that will never happen again. My mom's determination was that we would have our own home with our own yard and no one could shoo us away because we would have a right to be there. So the Susu savings was used to get a down payment for our first home. That was really my first memory of how the Susu impacted our lives economically. And from there, my mom continued. So when we had to furnish the house, it was Susu money, the new bikes, birthdays, school uniforms, and so on. All of those connected to those strategic decisions as to how to that pooled resource of community funds would be used to benefit or to advance the goals of our family. Probably in my mid-20s, I started to run a Susu, my own, with the women that I worked with and with some of my girlfriends in the community. 10 women, and we ran it over 20 weeks, and it was $100 per hand. And so you would get $1,000 for your hand. And I would send out information with all of the dates, or I would call people and say, these are the dates, and what date would you like? And they would give me a first and second choice, and then I would put their name beside their first choice if it was available, and their second choice if not. And then I would call and try to renegotiate based on, people might tell me, oh no, I really need it on the 20th of April because my daughter is graduating, or first communion, or whatever was going on in their lives. It eventually came to an end after I had my second child, because it became a little bit too much for me to administer that and also cope with being the mother of a 5-year-old and an infant. So it was dormant for quite some time, but people keep asking me, are we gonna do it again? Are we gonna do it again? So now that son is about 12 years old, and I just started it again. And this time we're using email transfers, so it's constantly evolving. So from cash that my grandmother and mom used to a check system where we actually didn't even meet with each other, to now, I guess, even a further removed process, because we have one person participating from Trinidad, and then we have Mississauga, Durham, Simcoe County, Scarborough, and the chances of us actually meeting as a group of people doing it, and we have one man in it this time. As women, as mothers, there's very little that I do for myself. And so when I look at my budget, and when I look at, you know, the demands of life, I don't necessarily say, okay, I'm gonna put aside this for me. It's harder to do because your life is about, to a large extent, making the other people around you feel happy. Not that that doesn't bring you great happiness in and of itself, so I'm not complaining. But I am saying that with the susu, sometimes it's, you know, I would buy myself a little something with part of that money, even though, and I don't feel as, I guess, guilty, or I feel like it's an okay thing to do because I sacrificed to get to that point so that I can have that money to do whatever I want with. So it's I think for many reasons it's a freeing thing. I timed my susu hand to land April 20th. It's about a week before my birthday. It was the closest hand I could get to my birthday. And then I conveniently found a car on the 26th of April and celebrated my birthday on the 27th. So it ended up being a susu birthday gift to myself, kind of a move there, yeah, so. There's something about the dynamic of having a commitment to a group to do this savings process. It's different when, because you could say, okay, I'm just gonna put aside $100, you know, every 20 weeks for myself, and then, you know, I'd have this money. But the idea of doing it with a group of women, and sometimes people do tell me what they're going to do, so it's an interesting social event as well, to be able to say, this is what I did with my susu money, or this is what I'm going to do with my susu money. So I think there are many things about it. We're social people. It's part of the human, it's the way we interact and so on. So I think wanting to talk about it, wanting to participate in something that's part of something bigger than yourself, and setting your own goals and reaching them, it's reassuring, it's fulfilling and so on. And really, you're doing it.
The anti-Ganesh movement had catalysts. They had these two Catholic priests working from a social justice platform to engage fisher folk on the idea of collectivity through a series of kitchen table meetings. How can we do business and reorganize ourselves along a new model that is more engaged, collective, democratic, and lateral?
That's why I don't want to take interest. I don't want to take credit line. No. But even I don't have a credit. I came to the country. They don't know me. They don't give me the money I'm asking. That's the why. The reason we come in as a group of women is to every month give this one and give that one and give this one until finish. When they finish, we're starting again. That's why it's helping everybody. My husband came 1989, and in Montreal, then he moved to the Toronto. Then me and my daughter, we came to Toronto 1990, July 7. But it's a difficult situation when you came here and you never see snow in the floor. You never see the food, and you eat the fresh every day. You go to the market and fresh meat, fresh vegetable, you know. Here, when you came here, it's very tough. And even the house, the taste of the food is very tough when I came here. But finally I adopted, because when I have kids, when I have and other my daughter going to school, and you know, I learning step by step. But it's not first time jump, but you have to see where you go, what you talking about. Ayuto means help. Some people they call Hagbet. Some people they call Shalongo. It's many names. Shalongo, Hagbet, Ayuto.
For me, what it was Ayuto was like my mom and like a bunch of aunties that knew, and then how you like go around monthly collect the money, and then from a young age you're kind of taught like drop the money off this auntie's house or like count the money for her. So I know how to count bills. My friends are kind of like shocked, like how do you know how to count bills so fast? You gotta learn. You gotta count $1,000 in like 2 seconds, or like a bunch of money in 2 seconds.
We celebrate Eid. Sometimes and I want to put Ayuta 200 every month, and I'm taking my Eid before Eid day to buy my kids clothes, shoes, some earring, you know. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today we have an onion and I don't buy the onion. Okay, put the money here. And today I buy this and I don't want this, and I want to put that $20. It's not going to the grocery shop. It's going to the Ayuta, because one Ayuta, one lady is Ayuta keeper. We trusting her. That's why that lady, the mom, is trusting her, collecting money. And when that month is finished, she give the lady. And the lady sometimes when you emergency, when I'm traveling emergency, when I have Ayuta, I want to call the lady keeping Ayuta and say, okay, this month I have a problem, I have this, and I need this month, and tell that person, and that month you give this person's emergency. And the lady explained the people taking that Ayuta monthly, and dad said that, okay, go ahead.
In the pre-dawn hours, police move in on a complex known simply as Dixon, also known as Little Mogadishu.
They take the money under the mattress. That money is coming from Ayuta. And these people, they don't know. They say that, oh, money laundering, or this is the drug money. We don't sell drug. We are not a money laundering. We are a moms. Those money is coming from Ayuta. Every month, $200. My child tax maybe my husband's bill. And then when I I get it, maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Maybe this year I'm collecting, maybe I want to adding next year. Maybe 5,000 money. And those money, police take it. They never bring it back. They take it. Those money is coming from Ayuta. And they said, oh, money laundering. No, it's not a money laundering, it's Ayuta money. And I don't know how I explain to the police. If those money you got it, bring it back. Because those money is coming from Ayuta money. And this mom, she suffered.
When I was growing up, it's a hard time because my father passed away. My father passed away and my mom had 8 kids. My mom was struggle, we all struggle. The house we live, it's 8 kids. with my mom's mother and her father. We have one bedroom and living room. That's how we used to live. Then my mom cannot afford for everybody to go to school. I volunteer for my younger brother. I told her, I say, you know what? You cannot afford for me, afford for my brother. Because back in the days, we look, say, if a boy educates, he will help the family. When my mom starts sick, then I start doing the business. I make peanut butter, take it to the market, and sell. So I paid my mom medication. At the time I joined Osusu, the age of 14. I developed from that until I get married. I have my kids. I still joined Osusu. Came 2004, winter, yeah. Oh, that experience I will never forget. I fall down in the airport. My first arrival, I fall in the airport. It's not easy. Since I've been in this country, I have 7, like I'm telling you, 6 boys and 1 girl. I struggle. Go to food bank, all the way downtown, college. I struggle with my life. I struggle with my boys. I always talk to them. I save my money. I told them, hey, we're not rich, but the money we get, we have to manage and know how to. 2006 or something, that's the time we started the force also in Canada. So we started like a $50. In 2 weeks, we give somebody $50 with 5. We start small to new people because we are stranger, all of us. Then by the time we get it, we know each other now. But also, so if you have it in your country, you still bring it. Like you walking with your your brim. So when you go, you meet people from your country, you say, oh, you remember Osusu? You say, yes. You remember when we used to do it back home? So why don't we do it back? We need this money, we leave our families, our friends, we need to help them. We're doing it because we all trust to each other. People I know you, you know me, I trust you. Like same like bank. When if you don't trust the bank, you're gonna put your money there? No, you're not gonna put it there because you trust the bank. That's why you take your money, you put it there. I'm not doing big business. If I have like $200, $300, $400, I can go somewhere like Chinatown, or if somebody brought a goose, I'll go there and buy. But I buy, I sell to people, I give people, like we call it by day, by month. They will pay me half. I'll make out of that 300, maybe I'll make out of 500, I will get it 500 to 600. Also, so make you be independent. You'll be a strong woman. Like before we say a woman cannot build a house, everything the man. But if you join also, you're strong from there. You can build your house back home. You can do anything you want to do. Because why? You believe you're also, you work hard for your money. You get your contribution. You buy anything you want to buy. It change your life. You'll be independent to your kid. You will not depend all the time. Oh, can I wait for the man? Oh, can this man to do this for me? Oh, I want this man to do for me. You can get up and stand there and do something and push yourself. And the challenge your kids will see you, they will develop from that. They will say one day, oh, my mom used to do this. My mom will not wait for her husband to do this for her. He will not wait for this. He stand up for himself. So I want to do this. I want to stand for this. So also to make you be a strong, independent person. It change your life. It change everything. Because number one example, if I need $2,000. If I want to buy my ticket to go back home, I have to prepare now. So, okay, you know what? I'm going next year. So I would look for Osusu. I will join the Osusu. When I join the Osusu, I will get my ticket money there. I will get my pocket money. I cannot wait for somebody to do it for me, a boyfriend or man. I will do it. That makes me independent. I feel a power. Say I have something.